Good morning and welcome to my first YouTube video. I'm outside GAY Bar on Old Compton Street, see? And look, the good news is it's not raining. Mother Nature has listened to me and has decided to do a dry January. Okay, so I'm about to start my 13-mile run and I'm gonna give you a tip every mile as I hit a mile point. That's 12 tips on how I think you could succeed running the London Marathon. Are you ready to come with me? Okay, 1 mile done out of my 13 miles, which means, actually, let me help me, I'm just trying to cross the road. Okay, that's done. Right, so my first mile done. It's a tip every mile. It's very windy out here. My first tip is probably the weirdest one of all of them. It is simply, don't listen to all tips. This is my ninth marathon this year, and I started running marathons as a novice. So over the years I picked up tips. Some haven't worked for me and some have. So the idea is that you should listen to the tips I give you today, and then when you look at them, try them and work what suits you and what doesn't. As I said, some won't work for you and some will. So tip number 1, don't listen to all tips. Right, I'm going to carry on with this run. I've got another mile to do. When I hit the 2 mile part, you get tip number 2. See you in a bit. Second mile in, and you can see that I'm not filming my ugly mug. That's lucky for you. I'm actually filming me running the route, and that's because tip number 2 at my second mile point is planning routes. So important. Training for the London Marathon, you need to do at least 1 long run a week, and each week you're going to increase it by 1 mile. Very important. You never ever increase it dramatically. That's how you get injured. So around this time of the year in January, you want to be starting and hopefully be at the 10 mile point, and then each week go up by 1 mile. It's quite hard to get the incentive to do that. So what I need you to do is create routes. I have routes from my home for a 6 mile run up to a 20 mile run. Today's 13 mile run. I'm running along here at Hyde Park. So I'm running my 13 mile route, all completely planned. We'll be running along here, down to Shepherd Bush, Hammersmith, Chiswick, then back along Kensington and Knightsbridge. The point of having a planned route is for 13 miles, I'm running 6.5 miles from home. Now, that's the easy part. The hard part is the second half. So you get the incentive by running home, knowing that that second half, once you've finished it, you will be at home. So, tip number 2, plan yourself route, going half the distance away from home, and then the second half getting home. Three miles into my 13 mile run, and are you ready for tip number 3? Oh, up there's Kensington Palace, can you see it? Oh, okay. We'll go and say hello to Meghan and Harry, close personal friends. Right, tip number 3. People are going to look at me now as I'm running and talking, think I'm loony. I'll pretend I'm on a business conference call. Right, excuse me, thank you. Right, tip number 3 is, I've forgotten what it is, get off that treadmill. Yeah, the London Marathon is 26 miles on the road. It's not on a treadmill. A treadmill helps you. It has a band on it. Okay, it helps you run. You don't need the help. You've got to do everything. So get off the treadmill. The only time I ever use a treadmill is for interval training. Oh my God, the most beautiful dog here. Hello. Oh. Right, sorry about that. I know people who are already only running on treadmill. Please get off it. When I first started running, I only ran on treadmills. I used to do an hour a day. We had a power cut in Soho, so my treadmill wasn't working. Me being the obsessive person I was, I thought I'll go and do a run outside. I could only run for 2 minutes. It was on that day I said I was never going to use a treadmill again, and I don't. Outside running and treadmill running are very different. you're running a marathon, bitches. So, sorry, I'm just crossing the road here, I don't want to get run over. So, running a marathon, get outside. Okay, tip number 3, bye-bye treadmill. Hi, I'm back. Right, here we go. 4 miles in. Yay! 9 miles to go, which means a 4th tip. Lots of roads to cross. That goes back to creating routes. Tip number 4 is scheduling 1 day a week, guaranteed that you have a long run. Now I put aside 3 to 4 days a week of running. 3 of those will always be a short run, anything from 4, 5, 6, 7 miles, no more than that. But 1 day a week is my 7-mile run. Now, it's really, really important you put that day aside. I don't want to hear things like, oh, I haven't got time, I've got to go to the gym. It's quicker to go out and do a run than it is to go to the gym. You do it from home and you finish at home. It's easy. Right, sorry about that. So there's more time. You know, you go to the gym, it takes 20 minutes to get to the gym, you get chain, you know, it's all time. Running, just get out and there and do it. So I always put 1 day a week aside, guaranteed for a long run. For me, it's every Wednesday morning. If you say to me, oh, can we have a meeting Wednesday? No. What are you doing Wednesday? Marathon training. That's my morning, marathon training. Nothing goes in the diary. I put it aside. So you need to put aside a time that is specifically for London Marathon training. Whether it doesn't matter what day of the week, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. For me, Wednesdays. So I want you to put a time aside. And as I said, at this time here, you should be at 10 miles. And then you're going to increase 1 mile a week around the end of January. And then you get up to the longest, which will be 20 miles. And then you taper down, which we'll talk about later. So tip number 4. Scheduling, babes. Got to get you out there. Okay? Me, Wednesdays, come and run with me. You, whatever day suits you. 5 miles in, and I'm filming the street and not me again for a very, very specific reason, because tip number 5 is this here. Can you see? Yep. Those little things called feet. It's actually all about the shoes I'm wearing. Tip number 5 is so important. There again, to know what shoes to wear. You have to go to a running store, a proper running store, and you need to choose your running shoes correctly and get professional advice on it. Get on one of their running machines, get them to film you, get them to show you what shoes are right for you. I had an injury a couple of years ago. I had to go to a podiatrist. They put an insole into my shoes. It's so important. Now, what we're going to do, hopefully you're going to subscribe. I hope you can hear me, it's very windy. Hopefully you're going to subscribe to my YouTube videos, and we're going to go to New Balance store. New Balance are the sponsors of this year's London Marathon, and we're going to go for a shoe fitting, and we're going to learn what's the right shoe for me. Am I wearing the right shoe? And it's also important, I'm going to just cross this road. It's really important to get these shoes early on in your training. Okay, there's only a certain number of miles that you should be wearing shoes for. We'll find that out when we go to the New Balance store. When should you change your shoes? But it's really important that you get used to your shoes. You cannot run your shoes on the marathon day. It's part of training. Wearing those shoes, getting used to them, is part of the training. So you need to be wearing them for training, so you're ready to wear them on marathon day. So tip number 5 is make sure you're wearing the right running shoes. And hi, 6 miles in, nearly halfway. Okay, my 6th tip is about pacing yourself. Now, coming up to London Marathon, everybody will say to you, oh, what time do you want to do it in? My reply is always the same. It's not the time, although it really kind of is, but it isn't. It's about finishing it. I mean, let's face it, how many people do you know have actually run the London Marathon? It's an incredible thing to be able to achieve and do. Priority has to be, first priority is to finish, okay? Doing a great time is then your second priority, but it's all about finishing. And then your time is about pacing. You need to use your training to pace yourself. So, today on my 13-mile run, I'm averaging 9-minute miles, but I'm trying to stay at that same pace the whole way. You need to train yourself to stay at the same pace. Work out your pacing training and stay at it. On London Marathon, they're going to ask you nearer the time. They're going to go to you, what time do you think you're going to do it in? And it's really important to be honest. If you think you're going to do a 4-hour marathon, say that and get yourself on marathon day into the 4-hour position on start point, not the 3-hour one. What you don't want is having a fast start off. If you're a 9-minute miler person, you don't want to be doing the first mile in 8 minutes. You need to pace yourself. Really, really important. One way of knowing your pace, you can kind of see now, although I'm a little bit out of breath. If you can talk and run at the same time, it means you're running at the right pace. If you're out of breath, you're running too fast. But anyway, I need you to pace yourself. I need you to work out what your pace is going to be and stick to it. Really do not start the London Marathon too fast. Stay at the same pace the whole way through. I usually work out my goal for what I want to run the London Marathon in. Usually around Tower Bridge. That's halfway part. You're getting off you come across the Tower Bridge. You're at 13 miles. You can kind of work out how you're doing, how your pacing's going. Last year I did it in 3 hours, 47 minutes and 20 seconds. As I said, it's not about the time. Anyway, so tip number 6 is about pacing yourself and making sure you can talk while run. Come and chat to me, we'll have a good old-fashioned gossip. 7 miles done, 6 miles to go, and the reason I'm filming the street again is I want to just go back a bit before I tell you about tip number 7. Is to remind you of an earlier tip where I said about planning routes. I'm now at the 7-mile mark and I turned a corner which you didn't see, but I'm now running home, and that's the incentive for me to get home now. I'm now 6 miles from home and it's easier the second half of the run to aim for home. Home for little Jacob, wagging his tail waiting for me. And that leads me nicely into tip number 7, which is never carry any money. Now the reason for that is, at this point I'm 7 miles into my run, I'm knackered, I'd do anything to stop, and I'd love to get a cab and go straight home. Well, I don't want that option. Carry no money. That way you have to run home. You've got no option. There's no other way of getting there except from running. So give yourself no incentives to stop. You want to finish this run. You've got goals to achieve, and this goal is achieved by having no money. Okay? Oh, and by the way, don't use your phone for Uber either. I'm not going to let you get away with that one. Okay, tip 7, carry no money so you can finish your run home. 8 miles in, 5 miles to go. We're coming up to Hammersmith, and time for tip number 8. Very exciting. Hang on a second. Whoops. Right, tip number 8 is all about knee supports. A lot of people think that you should only wear knee supports when, once you get a knee injury or something. One thing I learned, someone told me at the very beginning, wear them from the beginning. You're doing long runs, your legs are pounding against the ground. Pat, 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 pat. Or is it pound, 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 pound? You need to wear knee supports from the beginning, okay? It's no point waiting for an injury and sore knees to start wearing them. You've got to it's all about prevention. Hang on a second, just running past people. Excuse me. Right, okay, back to this. Yeah, so really, really important. Wear knee supports. I'm going to be making a video in a couple of weeks' time where I'm going to get dressed for a run, so you can see everything. It's from wearing knee supports, wearing skins. I wear skins on my quads. Let me just cross this road without getting run over. It's about wearing, I wear skin to protect my quads. My quads normally go first on the running in the marathon. So I'm trying to run across the road and talk to you. It's very difficult. The cars aren't going to let me cross. Hang on a second. Right, so knee supports thing. I mean, even like putting Vaseline on my toes to avoid blisters. We're going to put plasters on our nipples. But the most important thing, as I keep mentioning, you can't rely on just doing this on the London Marathon day for the first time. Training is about doing all of these things in advance. So we need to get you wearing knee supports now. We need to get you wearing skins now. Vaseline on the toes now. Plasters on the nipples, not yet. We'll wait for longer runs. So we're going to get you doing all of that. Okay. Now, the other thing I need to mention about knee supports, quite important, is there are lots and lots. You don't necessarily need the most expensive. Mine are actually from Boots, and they're amazing. I've run several marathons with them. So, again, it's a little bit of trial and error. While training, you need to trial different knee support to find the ones that suit you most. So tip number 8, for 8-mile run, wear knee support, babe. 9 miles done, 4 to go, and that means it's time for tip number 9, and I'm not filming myself. Oh, I'm going to film that little dog. Cute. Right. Okay, enough of the dogs, and on to your next tip. Your next tip is regarding your body. Your body is like an engine. It needs fueling. Important to have things like this. Can you see it? Lucozade. There you are. I carry a Lucozade. I run with Lucozade rather than water. Lucozade gives you salts, it gives you sugar, it gives you electrolyte. You can add electrolyte tablets, which I do on longer runs, but you need that fuel. You will get free Lucozades and waters along the London Marathon route, but I think it's important to carry your own, carry what you are used to doing. But the most important thing, I'm going to try and get it out of my pocket. I got a okay, got it. It's this thing here. Hang on. It's hard to run and film. Okay. Right. That is a carb gel. They are so important. Now again, I keep repeating myself about not using things for the very first time on marathon. Sorry about I had my hand in front of the screen. Right, I keep repeating myself about not doing things for the very first time on marathon day. Carb gels, so important, but you need to learn to take them before the marathon. You need to be taking them as part of training, okay? On marathon day, you can't take a gel when you're lacking energy. It's too late. You need to take it before. I've always been advised, take 1 gel every 4 miles. That means I'm having 6 gels while running the London Marathon. So important. I tell you now, without it, you're going to hit a wall. Like me now trying to cross this road, going back and forth. So hard to cross roads. We're coming up to Kensington Knightsbridge. Okay, so carb gels. But as I said before about things like knee supports and everything else, there are lots of different versions, or different varieties, I should say, of carb gels. So again, in training, trial and error. Find the ones that you like, the flavours you like, the ones that work for you. I kind of changed the brand I have while running. So at the beginning of the marathon, I'd taken a more kind of sweet one. Later on in the marathon, I don't really want anything sweet anymore, and there's some gels that I got are kind of more watery, not so much so sweet, and they work for me more. During the marathon, I started with Lucozade, and then about 18-19 miles in, I just don't want that sweetness anymore, and I go onto water. So again, it's about getting variety. Now, during the London Marathon, they will be giving out carb gels, but I recommend you carry your 6 and not rely on those. You really need to take them every 4 miles, and you don't get them every 4 miles on the marathon. So take your own, carry your own, and it's a great way as well of actually counting down the miles, because if you're taking a a gel every 4 miles, as your pockets get less weighed down on carrying gels, you'll know you've done more and more of the marathon. So every gel you take is another 4 miles done. So tip number 9, carb gels and drinks. You need to make sure you fuel your body the whole way through the London Marathon. 10 miles in, yay! 3 to go, boo! Okay, 10 miles in means tip number 10. Really important tip, this one. Listen to your body. Your body knows you better than anybody else. You know, very, very important that you have rest days. You know, you can't be running 6-7 days a week, especially after a long run. Okay, so you've got to rest. Plan your days, but if you're going to run 3 days or 4 days, 3 days rest. Rest those legs. And also, it's about recovery. Okay, this we're going to be doing on a video, and I'm absolutely dreading it. But we're going to have an ice bath. That's amazing for muscle recovery, apparently. Hell on earth, but amazing. Massages, sports massages. I do one a week. They are incredible for flushing out the toxin. You need to do that. I'm not saying do one every week, but try and get one in, especially if you're feeling an injury. I do acupuncture. Acupuncture's incredible. Oh my God. I will film an acupuncture session for you. You'll laugh at me scream. So it is all about listening to your body, sports massaging, ice baths, recovery. And you know what? If you've got an injury and your body's saying rest, you need to rest. If you have to miss a training session, miss it. It's all about that recovery. If you don't recover, you won't be running. So tip number 10, listen to your body. Oh, and listen to me. You just missed it. I was like being curb called by an ambulance. I think they looked at me and thought I was about to collapse. But I'm not. I'm 11 miles in and 2 miles to go, which means it's time for your 11th tip. Yay! Okay, my 11th tip is all about social media. Social media is so important. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I use them all. It's not about an ego trip. It's about people following your journey. There's also an incentive on Training Run. You know, if you post, right, going out for a run, going to try and do 10 miles, 12 miles, 20 miles, whatever you're going to try and achieve. But if you put it on social media, if you use an app like Map My Run, people can see you're doing it. There's a little bit of an incentive to actually achieve it. You know, when I post it, the thing I don't want to be posting is, oh dear, failed. So for me, posting on social media that I'm about to go for a run, doing this video today, you know, I have to finish the 13 miles. If I don't finish it, you're going to see I haven't done it. So there's an incentive to do it. So get on social media and show everyone how you're doing on your training. You know, the London Marathon isn't all about getting up on that Sunday morning and running 26 miles. There's a training to be done. People need to see the hard work that you're going to do to achieve the London Marathon. And the other thing about social media is charity. If you're running for a charity, you want people to sponsor you. They need to see how hard you work. Now, I have found through all the London Marathons I've run, the amount of money we've raised running the marathon has been incredible. People are more supportive for you and more willing to sponsor you for the London Marathon than any other event. So use social media to get sponsorship, okay? Facebook, Twitter. Oh, and by the way, follow me at Jeremy Joseph. And of course, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So there you are. Tip number 11 for 11 miles is use social media. I think I must look half dead. Anyway, I'm quite pleased. We are 12 miles in, 1 mile to go. I'm quite excited because I'm hoping I'm going to do the 13 miles under 2 hours. One tip I forgot to give earlier, when I said about getting on the treadmill, getting off the treadmill. One of the other reasons about the treadmill, not just about running, you need to get used to all weathers. You have absolutely no idea what the weather will be on marathon day. It's April, it's London. It could be rain, it could be sleet, could be snow, could be sunshine. I remember one year I train in every weather apart from sunshine, and then marathon day, gorgeous, glorious weather. So you need to train in all weathers. Okay, that was a tip from earlier on. My last tip is, you know where they say you should take your own advice? This is one I'm really bad at, but I know I need to get better on. Stretching. Tip 12 is all about stretching. You need to stretch before a run and after a run. Stretch, stretch, stretch. I have a physio called Evil Eve. Hi Eve. We'll do a video in the next couple of weeks, and if you subscribe, we'll put it up there, teaching you how to stretch, and we may even do some foam rolling. Oh my god, foam rolling is agony, but apparently amazing, so they tell me. So final tip is stretching. Now I'm going to finish off this mile, so I've done my 13 miles, and I'll do a goodbye at the end. There you have it, 13 miles in. Well, that was 1:57.58. I'm very happy with that, under 2 hours. Well, there you have it, 13 miles done and dusted. I'm absolutely shattered, and I'm going to go and have a lovely warm bath. I hope you've enjoyed my tips, and I hope you're going to join me on my YouTube channel and subscribe. And some of those tips we will be making into videos, like the ice bath, the acupuncture, the sports massages, carb loading, you name it, we'll be doing it. So subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.